So we're going to talk today about something very interesting, and lest you think it's Pollyannish, I'll let you know it's definitely not. It's called smile meditation. Smile meditation. Smiles are these, it's like a communication tool, right? We can smile at someone because we want to make them feel welcome, or we can smile because we're embarrassed. And the smile meditation that we're going to talk about today is more of an inward smile as opposed to those outward smiles that we're so familiar with. Has anyone heard of the Pan Am smile? I learned about the Pan Am smile this week because I was doing a little research. Yeah, so Pan Am, the airline from maybe the 70s and 80s, the stewardesses were requested to smile under any circumstances. So, the plane is going down and they were requested to smile. So it's a certain kind of smile that's filled with a lot of non-smile elements. So there's tons of different smiles. We're going to talk today about the inward smile, I want to share with you a couple of images of the Buddha smiling, because he's often depicted with this certain kind of a face, and it's really interesting. Anyway, here's 5 images of Buddha. You can see around his mouth here, right? His eyes are sort of closed or looking down, but his mouth is kind of turned up. Not a boisterous smile, but this kind of gentle, small smile. And there's a reason that Buddha is often depicted as a smile, as having a smile. But first, I want to ask you to do this exercise just out of curiosity. So grab yourself a pen or pencil. Grab yourself a pen or pencil. And make sure it's, a little bit clean, because we're going to put it in our mouth. But theoretically, if you've been holding it all day, it's safe for you. So when you have your pen or pencil, go ahead and take the pen or pencil and put it in your mouth like this. Like you're holding it, like you're an architect and you need to hold on to it, or you're a carpenter. And what I want you to do is take it out now. So you're holding your pen or pencil at the ready, and just move your attention into your mouth and into the corners of your mouth in particular, your resting face. Most people have a resting face where your mouth is kind of relaxed like this. Mine definitely is. My corners go down. And then when you put the pencil in, notice what your face has to do. Your whole face has to lift itself up to get the pencil in there. So the whole face kind of activates, all the muscles engage, and it lifts up. You can try it a couple times if you want to sort of notice the resting face and then the pencil face. Right? Even the eyes get involved. They squinch up a little bit. Okay. So there was a famous study done in 2010, and then it was replicated in 2020. And the research project, the one from 2020, is titled "Your Face and Moves Seem Happier When I Smile." Your face seems happier when I smile. It's from Experimental Psychology. It was published in Australia, I believe. A handful of scientists across different labs studied. The subtitle is "Facial Action Influences the Perception of Emotional Faces." They replicated the effect of muscle engagement on perception. So they replicated the effect of muscle engagement. What that means is they asked people to put a pencil in their mouth to make the face move up. And so then they asked people to look at images such as these. You can see this woman with her frowny face, her not sure if, we're not sure if she's frowning or smiling, and her smiley face. And they asked the subjects to look at these images and to report on whether this was a happy face or something other than a happy face. And they asked subjects to do that both with a regular resting face and with the pen in their mouth, so as to replicate sort of this movement towards an activated smiling face. So they were asking people to just artificially produce a smile on their face. And it's fascinating because what they found is that subjects, when they had the pencil in their face, when their face was artificially pushed up into a more smiling movement, their reactions to someone else's face that wasn't 100% sure where it was more in the direction of, oh, that's a happy face. So what our facial movement is doing has a direct effect on what we perceive in the world around us from the people around us. I found this research to be utterly profound, because you think that someone's face is someone's face. It is what it is, but in fact it's not, and it's very much dependent on what is happening not only inside of us, but in fact just with our muscles, just with our facial muscles. Now, Thich Nhat Hanh apparently figured this out long before the researchers ever did. Thich Nhat Hanh invented, or maybe he didn't invent, but he brought to the modern lexicon this idea of smile meditation. And I'll read a quote from him. He says, "Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile, but sometimes your smile can be the source of your joy." And he expounds further, "Why should I smile when there is no joy in me? Why should I smile when there is no joy in me?" The answer is, smiling is a practice. There are over 300 muscles in your face. When you're angry or fearful, these muscles tense up, and the tension in these muscles creates a feeling of hardness. If you know how to breathe in and produce a smile, however, the tension will disappear. It is what I call mouth yoga. Make smiling an exercise. Breathe in and smile. The tension will disappear and you will feel much better. From Thich Nhat Hanh. So, rewinding and thinking about a couple of other daily meditations that some of us do. For example, sometimes when you're moving through the day, you'll pause and notice your breath. It's very powerful. I pause, I notice my breath is short and shallow. Often if you apply this mindfulness to your breath, you're rewarded with a little bit of insight, right? Maybe you can see that you're tense and you're holding your breath, and you can make your next breath longer. You can deliberately draw it out, and that brings a sense of relaxation right away, right in this moment. The only moment you're actually alive, you have this power to feel better immediately. Another practice that some of us do is noting. We did some noting in our meditation this morning. We do that a lot in Vipassana. I also call it naming. But it's another way to really be with yourself and know how you're moving throughout your day. For example, an example of noting is you're in the morning, you're getting your cup of coffee, and you just note each movement to yourself verbally, silently, like reaching up, grabbing the cup, closing the cabinet, like that. Just these short notations of what you're doing. And a lot of times when you're doing that, you notice right away you're rewarded again with this insight, oh, I'm rushing. And maybe your thoughts will go further to, this is the only moment I'm actually ever alive, so why am I rushing it? Next moment I might not be so lucky, so why am I rushing this one? And then you can slow down a little bit and really appreciate that moment of reaching for your cup. So when you slow down your movements and you enjoy them more mindfully, it feels good right away. So again, you have this one moment of mindfulness that's creating a change right now. So smiling meditation is like that, and it has a stronger charge. There's a stronger electrical charge to it, or a stronger emotional charge. With a smile meditation, you pause and you notice the muscles on your face and around your mouth. And by the way, this alone takes a lot of mindfulness, right? To know what your facial muscles are doing at any moment is a very powerful practice. And when you check in, you might notice that your brow is furrowed, and that your maybe the muscles around your eyes are tight, and maybe the corners of your mouth are down. This is very common for mouth muscles because life can be heavy. And again, you can be rewarded with this insight that maybe you can relax your eyes, you can unfurrow your brow, and you can move the corners of your mouth just a tiny bit into the upwards direction. And when you do that, you can feel right away this relaxing of the mind. And it has nothing to do with anything that's happening in your life besides these very important muscles right here on the face. Very profound. Now, I've been practicing in the Plum Village tradition of Thich Nhat Hanh for many years, and for many years I couldn't really get my head around the smile meditation, but it's in the back of the system. And so this January I went with my friend for our retreat, and we came back and we became meditation buddies for a couple of months, where we would text each other every day and say, hey, how were your daily practices today? We rated ourselves. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how was your eating meditation? And I did this smiling meditation. I said, let me give it a try. And it was wonderful, right? I tried very conscientiously. And after a few days, my face started to feel very uncomfortable. It was too much. So an adjustment needed to be made. And what I noticed in my experience is this smile meditation needs to be so subtle. Because too much of a smile really requires energy, right? When you go and you say hi to someone, hi, you're generating lots of energy. But a little smile, just a touch of it, brings energy. It supports pain. It like holds the pain in a very soft basket. And this smile meditation is really, it's not for others, it's for you. So you can practice with this, you can monitor and see, how does it feel? Does it feel good? And then it's working. And if it's not feeling good, then you can try something else, right? You can really play with it. So that's the smile meditation, which I'll just point out that if you're practicing that and you happen to be in the presence of others, maybe, for example, shopping, grocery shopping, which we all do often, there's the added benefit, which is that you're practicing something just for yourself. But if you look up and notice, human beings, we have those mirror neurons. There's special cells in our brain that cause us to mirror back with the people we're with, which is why, for example, when somebody's in a foul mood and they walk in the room, it can really wreck your day. It's our mirror neurons that are doing that. Like we're mirroring their energy, and we want so much to keep our good mood. But they come in with this bad energy, and our mirror neurons get activated. Similarly, when somebody peaceful and loving walks in to our space, you're almost bathed in this wonderful feeling. Your mirror neurons are being activated. And so when you're out and about, if you're practicing this smile meditation, you're sending out an energy, frankly. And what you'll get back is the mirror neurons of people. You'll see it, just a glance. You'll see somebody with their brow furrowed, and they'll glance up and see this peaceful face. And immediately they'll do a quick smile, like without even, involuntarily. And then you get the benefit of seeing that additional smile and seeing that additional energy radiating back at you. It's a good investment, this practice.